finds the gap, he finds the gap. What a way to bring up 250. An innings of the highest skill.
Cast your mind back to your very first memory of playing cricket.
Growing up, we lived on the back of a school field, Pillins Point Primary, and we used to do underarms and hit balls on the field, and then actually my dad and some of the other parents fundraised and put in a cricket pitch and some cricket nets on the school grounds, and we ended up practicing in there a lot. So from a young age had a real drive to want to improve, and the drive was from me, I think, which was really important. Dad coached teams or got involved, but certainly erred on the side of fairness and giving everybody a go, and so, batting orders would be reversed. I remember we played in a rep under-14s game, which at the time we took quite seriously, and we went to tournament, and Dad was still reversing the batting lineups, and we kind of, what do you reckon? But it was cool, and it's kind of what it's about, I think, at that younger age. It's about having a great time playing with your friends and growing up and doing what you love, and then you're more inclined to stick with it, I think.
That's clever. And it's all the way as well.
When did you realise you wanted to be a professional?
Yeah, in my own mind, I wasn't taking it seriously. I just had a real sort of appetite for learning and wanting to improve, and in terms of the professional part to it, I don't think you ever really consider it until college years, and I, looking back, I think that's a good thing. It means you're perhaps doing a lot of other things that you enjoy as well, and it's not just, the one. And so, going through college, started getting the odd opportunity to train with the Knights, and then getting a game or two, I think, in sixth form. Yeah, it started perhaps taking a little bit of shape that it might head in that direction a little bit, but then at the same time you never wanted to get ahead of yourself, and so it was always making sure that when you're at school you were putting in your time into the schoolwork that needed to be done, and when school finished it was right into my sports, and still though applying that enjoyment, and even today where you're having the approach that you want to go out there and enjoy what you're doing and enjoy playing the game that you did when you were this big, and now you're a little bit bigger, hopefully not too much bigger this way, but and having a bit of fun doing it with a bunch of mates.
And the ball into the crowd.
Are there influences on you as a person or you as a cricketer that you still think back on and are thankful to have had or to still have?
You start by having I had three older sisters and a twin brother, and we all were into our sports, and definitely having a twin brother, without a doubt, keeps your feet on the ground and probably help shape the person that you are, and then you sort of keep moving along the timeline. And you might be playing some international sport, and and then you have some influences that, not social media influences, but even players from other teams that you've met and connected with, and there's certainly been a number of those that you talk to, and you sort of share experiences that are common to the people involved in them, and fully understand them with the dynamic of playing it professionally.
Is it just part of your makeup that you're a grazer of character traits maybe, or grazer of knowledge?
I think whenever you enter into a team, there's always senior players there that definitely have a large impact on shaping the environment which you have been welcomed into. So coming into the New Zealand team and having a lot of senior players, and having had that for a number of years, definitely has a huge impact.
And down he goes! Smash through the offside again!
Certainly in the area where Brendan took over, we had a great time, had a lot of fun, and did some pretty cool things. And in terms of a grazer, I do remember on a lot of my school reports that I was quite inquisitive, and that was a common theme that came through, and probably still true to this day, where you ask a lot of questions, and you compete fiercely on the field, but there's also a lot of guys in other teams that are really happy to open up and discuss different parts to what you do.
What was the biggest break of your career?
Look, it's never, like I say, I just don't see it like that at all. There's not a moment in time where things change drastically. It's just a progression of trying to improve, trying to play for the reasons that are important to you, and commit to playing in a way that is true to yourself, and maintaining who you are. It can be challenged in the professional environment.
Wow, this is class from the New Zealand skipper.
I do want to ask about where you were and how you found out you were selected for New Zealand for the first time.
Yeah, so I was playing a game in Whangarei. I think our coach got a phone call and then mentioned that I was getting called into the squad and had to pack my bags. And so, yeah, obviously pretty chuffed. Yes, you had this dream as a young person to play at the highest level, but actually for me it was about improving and trying to, be the best you can be. And so I remember thinking, I'm not doing this to play for New Zealand. I'm doing this to do this, and then if something outside your control, like a phone call from the selectors happens, then that's cool, but it's actually not, that's kind of not up to me. It's just my part in this is just to keep doing what I enjoy and trying to get better at it. Yeah, it was quite a good little learning curve to just pull yourself back. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm still enjoying, what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, walking into that dressing shed for the first time before your New Zealand debut, did you feel the magnitude of that moment?
It was exciting when it became a reality. Yeah, just great to meet the guys and get into that environment, which is just something that you'd never experienced before, and playing against, a number of these guys that you've just grown up watching. And so Sachin Tendulkar and Rahul Dravid and V.V.S. Laxman, Sehwag, and all these legends of the game that were all on my backyard cricket team growing up for years, And I was thinking, sheesh, and you sort of quite quickly work out that they're all human, and they're all sort of working pretty hard at what they do, and it's a lot of interesting experiences.
Oh, he's picked the gap, and there it is. Test match 100, number 22 for New Zealand's little maestro. An innings of rare class that has become the norm for New Zealand's captain.
What would you do if you weren't a cricketer?
Well, I was enrolled at university, so I have a twin brother. He did a business degree and specialised in accounting, so maybe we both would have done that. I don't know if we would have gone the accounting path, but always loved my sport though, and I suppose having been involved in it now for such a long period of time, it'd be hard to see yourself not being involved in sport.
I know you probably won't have a favourite memory, but do you have a couple of things that still stick out for you?
One of my most fond memories would have been that period of time playing under Brendan and seeing the team evolve, and then going to a World Cup, playing at home. Cricket was thriving, and we were involved in some pretty epic clashes, there's been so many amazing little moments that if you look at it as a sort of a snapshot, you'd go sort of how did you find yourself in that position, but obviously within that is just this big picture thinking where it hasn't happened on accident, because there was a whole lot that went into it over a period of time. So you look back on that World Cup and pretty cool. You look back on the other one, pretty cool. Probably sounds boring, but it is a progression, and there's a lot of effort that goes into that. That's why I probably struggle to go out that moment or that one, but that might be my captaincy hat, I'm not sure.
There it is. As if his place among the greats was not already assured, Kane Williamson brings up Test century 24.
I'm yet to hear you talk about a singular Kane Williamson moment, because the team seems to be all for you.
For me, and playing for New Zealand, we're at, what have we got, 4.5 mil, maybe a few more recently, that people coming home. 4.5 mil, and we've got this amazing rugby team, so a lot of unbelievable athletes. I mean, we all wanted to be All Blacks, but it didn't happen. And so a lot of people are, choosing that. And then we've got, a bunch of guys that work really hard and play for one another. And so for me, there's a huge amount of enjoyment in that and trying to do as much as you can for the team. When you can enjoy everybody else's success and your contribution to that, rather than whether you just feel good about yourself or not, it's sort of, that's quite short-lived. Whereas if you can put it into that larger bucket, it makes it that much more special, I suppose.